Do you have considerable assets that you want to protect from creditors and people that want to litigate against you? Then you should consider an offshore trust. These trusts, it's not about tax optimization, but it's about protection. Everything is reported to the US government, and really there's the same tax rates would apply. I'm Vincenzo Villamena, CPA and founder of Global Expat Advisors, and we help many people set up trusts both outside the United States as well as the US to protect their assets from creditors and litigators. So the question is, why an offshore trust? There's people that have litigation exposure, either in a particular industry or just the nature of their environment. And by doing an offshore trust, you actually have stringent asset protection laws. Places like the Cook Islands or Nevis are great places for trusts. And if your trust is offshore, there's less interest from US attorneys. Let me give you an example. I had a client who somebody wanted to litigate against him, a former employer. This employee went to various attorneys, and as far as their fee, they said, we'll keep 1/3, you keep 2/3. Okay, they went and they litigated against this person. He happened to be a physician. And what did they find out upon digging further was that all of his money had actually been put in a trust offshore. Of course, these attorneys no longer wanted to litigate because it was too much work for them to go engage an attorney outside the country, and the case just wasn't strong enough. There was no way that they were going to settle, etc. This is a perfect example of how an offshore trust will deter creditors and litigators from going after you when all of your money is within that trust. What is the biggest thing about a trust is you lose control. What does that mean? You don't own the assets anymore. The trust owns the assets. And for a lot of people, that's a difficult pill to swallow. But let's get into how a trust works. Again, as a trustor, what you are doing is you are putting all of your assets into the trust. In this case, we have a Cook Island trust on top and then a Nevis LLC on the bottom. We like to keep the trust in two different jurisdictions, again, for more protection. So you put the assets into the trust, and then you have a trustee on top. The trustee's job is to make decisions for the trust, decide when money will come out, etc. So you have to essentially go ask the trustee when you want a distribution or have distributions, again, according to the laws of the trust. Now, in order to have some level of decision-making ability, there is a statement of wishes. That is a document that outlines what you're allowed to decide, whether it's investment decisions, other management decisions. But again, everything must go to the trustee because you no longer have control. That's important. And underneath the LLC, of course, is the assets. This is a great tool for people that want to protect their assets, especially if they're high net worth. If you have a question about trust and want to think about setting one up, have a consultation with us at Global Expat Advisors. Thank you.